Welcome to Better Beta, the show that airs whenever we are able to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's a very circumstantial situation, this show is, isn't it?
It's very circumstantial.
But the circumstances meet the requirements this week, don't they?
A little, like, perfectly.
Perfectly.
Same game type.
Same game type,
Same
kind of.
Time.
Yes.
Release window.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it. Today, we are talking about Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. So, first, let's talk about Dragon Ball.
Betas. Better beta.
Beta, obviously. Better beta. Let's talk about Fighter Z.
Okay.
You got to play it first.
Yep.
You experienced it a little bit more than me.
A little bit.
What did you think of it at first, diving into it?
I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, me too.
Like handed to me.
Really bad.
Which, you know, it's out of the two, it's the one that's a little bit more your average fighter, 2D fighter,
Yep.
but at the same time, like, it's not, because it's the first time, not the first time Dragon Ball Z has done this, but it's the first time in a while that Dragon Ball Z has done the 2D fighting style, average, you know, not your normal, not like Xenoverse or Xenoverse 2
Yeah.
with the 3D and everything. But gorgeous game.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And like both of them between Dissidia and this game are super fan servicey. I mean, like, if you are into these into these shows or into these games.
Yeah, the franchises. Yeah.
You're gonna love them. It's as simple as that.
I believe that as well.
But yeah, it's just super quick, super fast. It's gonna take me a while to get to it, but out of the two, it's my personal favorite. Even though I generally like more of the 3D open world kind of combat, but I really adored this one so much. It's the first fighting game since like Injustice that it's making me think I'm gonna play it, and maybe I'm gonna try to get really good at it. Is that gonna happen? I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. But what do you think?
So, getting back to the art style, not only do both games completely kill it at art style, I really enjoyed them both. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan over Dragon Ball Z. But Dragon Ball Z takes the cake. If you had a trophy for art and you're going to give one of these betas a trophy, it's fucking Dragon Ball Z. It's beautiful. It's the best looking game based on an anime to date. You know what I mean? I mean, it is great. And, I mean, you also have some games like Persona and stuff, but they're not technically based on an anime.
Yeah.
They have their very own original art style as well. But there's times when you're playing the beta, or it goes into a cutscene, or it does this, or an intro, or whatever, and it just looks almost like they're playing just a video. But it's not, it's actual game engine, and that's how good it looks. And every time I played a match, got my ass kicked, handed to me, it didn't matter because I was just so, like, amazed by how good it looked.
Yeah, it looks so good. And it was hard to keep up with it because it's so quick, but yeah, even if you die and everything, it still looks cool. I didn't get a chance to do it, but there are little Easter eggs. If like a certain character kills a certain character that they did in the show, it'll actually go into a cutscene of them, of how they killed that character. So there's a cutscene where it shows Frieza throw Krillin up and then makes him explode.
That's fucking awesome.
Also another one where if a Cyberman's fighting Yamcha, he'll grab onto Yamcha and blow up.
Nice.
So there's those little fan servicey things. I don't know how hard those are to get. I'm assuming they're like fatalities where you probably have to trigger it in some way. But yeah, just like what you're saying, just gorgeous game,
really
all
gorgeous.
around.
Now going back to the Final Fantasy art, you know, a lot of these games update characters. The last time we seen a Dissidia was Dissidia 012, 012, I don't know however the fuck you want to say it. Nevertheless, what's really awesome about this is that you get environments from each Final Fantasy game, and they're all, you know, updated in PS4 graphics. Everything looks really nice. You know, we were playing the Final Fantasy X area, and it was fucking sweet. It made me instantly want just a 10 remake, you know what I mean? That's how nice it looked. The characters look great. Best looking Squall I've seen in a while, you know. You got Jet in there, which is nice. You got Aces from Final Fantasy Type 0, which is fucking awesome. You got a Tactics character.
You got Noctis from 15.
Noctis. So, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. You got, you know, you got Lightning, you got all these people. It's fun. I didn't see Lightning in the beta, though. I didn't know if that was just like a specific thing, but I know that she's in there. She's probably in there, just may not know her, unsure.
Yeah, maybe.
But nevertheless, the music is on point. The one difference I did find between the both is I felt like Dissidia's beta was a little bit more fleshed out. There's more to do in it.
And I think that's not just the beta. I feel like that's going to be
the game in
games
general.
in general.
Yeah, I think
like,
so.
When it comes down to it, it was just much more deeper. The Dissidia was like it seems like there was just a lot more that you can do between story, the offline playing, which I'm sure you're going to get to in Dragon Ball, but it was different with this one. Like having an open world, having your different summons, having your different, you can customize every character to have their different like abilities and everything. It just seemed a lot more in depth. I don't think that Dragon Ball Z is going to be that way, since it wants to be more of the
traditional
fighter. Yeah, I'm assuming that they're going to want to be played at Evo and be played at tournaments and stuff. So like the customization wouldn't work in those situations. So definitely, Dragon Ball Z much more of a shallower experience, but not
at the
really.
same time. There's a lot of stuff just blocked off on the beta.
Yeah.
So that's something definitely taken into account. And that was another thing. The lobby of Dragon Ball Z was really nice, I thought. Mm-hmm. It turned into like that chibi look, but it was great looking, Yeah. Only problem that I had is like I felt like I was looking at the same exact grass and umbrella from Xenoverse 2. I specifically was saying that while I was playing it. We were in a party together, and I was like, they have the same fucking umbrella, the same fucking grass, but nevertheless, it was a chibi little version of it. All the characters look fucking great.
Where
though.
you can change the characters. You can change like the color of them. I like had a Frieza where instead of purple accents, he had yellow accents, and I was running around and it's cool. It's a cute little. It'll be interesting to see what all of those different areas that were blocked off are going to lead to. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe it will be more of a fleshed out experience by having, like, mini games or, like,
tower mode,
like
a story mode,
like
you know what I mean? Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be nice. Something that I noticed between both the games, too, is that a lot of times when I go into, like, a traditional fighting game, spent a good amount of time with Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers this year. I'm a guy that likes to go in and physically look at combos. Yeah. That's how I excel when I do excel. Not all the time. I want to say 10% of the time.
At least.
And I'm not playing someone online. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I'm going through tower mode or whatever, I like to know combos. Dragon Ball Fighter Z didn't have that. Obviously, Dissidia didn't have that too. But going back to Dragon Ball Fighter Z, it actually still had like. When I looked at the moves list, it still made me feel like I was playing a traditional Dragon Ball game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, here's your combos, blah, blah. It was like, no, square's heavy, X is mild attack, you know what I mean? You know, here's fucking like your grab, and like you do things like that. Here's your key blast, and that made me feel like comfortable and be able to like, not feel overwhelmed with it right away. Exactly. Even though I preferred the combo, like just tell me what the combos are. Yeah. Nevertheless, it was cool because it was just like, no, here, you kind of already know this fighting style from other games. We're just going to put that in the traditional 2D. Yep. And something, though, that I feel like is going to be a hill for me to climb playing Fighter Z is that, like, I was clearly playing people online that did know the combos, that did know what to do, and they kicked my ass. So, unless if there's a tutorial mode or in the story mode, it kind of ushers you through that and holds your hand a little bit. I'm not going to want to, like, look online for combos, you know what I mean? But as long as the game presents itself in a manner to where, like, because, most games don't want you to just jump online right away. No. They want you to see the full offerings, do the tutorials, do the story mode, do all that. So as long as they do it well enough to where by the time I'm done with the story, done with the tutorial, I know how to do my combos, then that's going to be perfect. You know what I mean?
And I think that's how it's going to be. What's nice about the game is it is going to be a jump in, play the story, play this, have fun with it. If you want to play online, you're going to have to get better with that, but it definitely seems like a much easier game to jump into, where honestly Final Fantasy was kind of the opposite, to me at least. You were able to, watching you play, you definitely jumped in it quick, you didn't have to see any tutorials, you played it, you had fun, but definitely for me it was one of those, like, I went in and I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and it was weird because you had the crystal popping up and you wanted to go get that to get your summon, but then you also, like, I would incapacitate an enemy and then I'd go fight another enemy, and next thing you know, the old enemy was awake again. And,
I noticed that too.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more confusing, but at the same time, I feel like it'll be a lot more it'll have more depth again to where it'll be funner once you're playing through it so many times to unlock the different things, unlock the different moves, learn all of the little combos and stuff like that.
I feel like probably in the story mode of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, you know, it's going to have difficulty levels. You'll be able to get through the story probably no problem. I feel like you can be worse at Dissidia and have more success.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
That
you
makes
know what I
sense,
mean? You have a better chance at still defeating your enemies, even probably in an online stance. I mean, probably. I mean, you know what I mean?
See,
It still probably gets very in depth, and they probably know how to maneuver their characters very well. I think that was the one thing that was I was having trouble with, is just kind of like maneuvering my character and having like my lock sequence. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just jumped right in. I didn't do tutorial, so that's a huge reason why I was limited on what I knew. Nevertheless, I was able to pick up, do the cross slash. I was able to figure out my first ability. I wasn't able to figure out my other two abilities, sadly. But I love the summons. The summons were really fucking awesome. You get it looks like you unlock summons as you play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks like you also unlocked like maybe different moves or secondary stats for each character. So I think that's really cool. Something that is lacking, for both these games is Injustice is just the standard of fighting games, I feel like, these days, you know what I mean? I mean, with Injustice, what makes Injustice so good is that anybody could buy the game and have a enormous amount of reward coming from any type of play level. You can be bad, you can be good, you can be great, and you'll all have an amazing experience with Injustice. There's so much single player content in the game. It's like it's almost overwhelming for someone that doesn't know what they're getting into, and then they're just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much challenges. Story mode. Each tower has their own ending for each character, and then the campaign's super fledged out, So I want that to be inserted into some of these games, and I feel like it's just not, I feel like Dissidia, with you being able to change abilities, you should also be able to change armor sets, you know what I mean? I think that'd been a very cool thing, and granted, we don't exactly know. I definitely didn't see anything for any type of equipment. It looks like everybody's equipment's pretty much locked, which is fine, and I'm okay with that.
I think if anything I saw, like, you can change your appearance. I think that's the one thing I saw, but nothing to do with...
See, and appearance would be okay. I'd be okay with that. You get to change their abilities, so at least if I got to change appearance, that'd be sweet. But yeah, I mean, like, why not have fucking Lightning have fucking Tidus's sword from X? You know what I mean? Why not have Noctis be able to have Ace's cards? You know what I mean? That would be something that'd be so cool, I think. And it would just put a whole nother, almost 10 hours too, especially if, like, maybe you're playing as Noctis or Tidus, and the more you play with that character, the more weapon sets you unlock. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you start out from the first Final Fantasy game, and you unlock down of all the titles. You know what I mean? That'd be something that's cool.
Yeah,
and
a reason to keep playing and to jump in there to unlock all that stuff.
Exactly, and also with Fighter Z, it would be nice to have something like that, and Fighter Z seems even more locked with equipment and stuff like that. And like you said, it's because they'll be playing it at EVO, in tournaments. Make it, they need that fair tournament type of fighting game, which is completely understandable. You know what I mean? I think another reason why maybe I was able to jump into Dissidia faster is just because I've, number one, played a great amount of Dissidia on PSP, and I've watched a lot of Dissidia NT just being played in Japan.
I see.
Because the thing is that, don't quote me, I'm pretty sure this is correct though, but NT was kind of Japan's, first it was like their arcade style game, and then they turned their Dissidia arcade into NT, and then that's how they fleshed it out to the West, and they put it on PS4 in Japan and everything like that. So I think the NT is heavily taken from their arcade version in Japan. And I think that's why maybe, it seems polished. It seems very polished and very fleshed out in the beta, and I think that's why we got so much more from that beta, is just because they've had already an enormous amount of time with the game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know what I mean? But Fighter Z coming out the 26th, Dissidia coming out the 30th of January, both these titles. So people of the franchise that love these franchises, do you think these are purchases for them?
I mean, it depends on how much they really like the franchise. if they're not a fighting game kind of guy, I can see maybe like. I can see them maybe being overlooked a little bit. Like, that looks cool, but I'm not really into fighting games. But, I mean, if they like games, if they like the art style, it still, I think, is a pickup. Like, get it, play it, have fun with it, even if you're not too into it. Like, it's still one of those, they're both good-looking enough that they're games where if someone comes over and they're also a fan of the franchise, you can be like, yo, check out this new Dragon Ball Z game I got.
Yeah.
Show it to them. Check out this new Final Fantasy game I got, especially with Final Fantasy, since it goes to deep cuts with all the different Final Fantasies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, like, it's more of a niche market, I think, if you're really going to get into it, just because I think you'd need to really like the franchise, and you'd also need to like fighting games. But then again, they might both be, at least Dragon Ball Z is, I think, going to be fleshed out enough to where I can see people who like fighting games who aren't huge Dragon Ball Z fans still getting into it just because it looks so good. I don't think anyone's going to buy a Dissidia Final Fantasy if they're not a Final Fantasy fan.
Absolutely. And another great thing to bring up is just the fact that people that play Dragon Ball Z games are used to just a fighting game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if maybe the only thing you've played is Xenoverse, there's still a shitload of just, like, you know, arena fucking based fighting in that game, to where, I mean, you're constantly just fighting people. Like, you're even fighting people that just aren't even, like, cohesive to the story, like, just to, like, level up your character and stuff, you're doing fights. So I think people that are into Dragon Ball Z, that have played any Dragon Ball Z game, can look at Fighter Z and say, yeah, I can buy that, I can play this for a good amount of time, I already know what I'm expecting. The problem with Dissidia is that I think even if you're a Final Fantasy fan, if this is your first Dissidia, you may not like it, you may not be used to it. I think, like I said, it's very fan servicey. I think a lot of people that play Final Fantasy, that have played 7, 9, 10, 6, you know, 13, 15, these are also people that I think do play Dissidia though. But nevertheless, I think it is a very different game than what core Final Fantasy is, and I can see that being the only downfall in gameplay and when consumers decide to pull the trigger. So that's the only thing that I can think of. But like I said, art style goes to DBZ, beta depth goes to Dissidia. You know what I mean? I think these are games that people can download, you know, and have enough success and reward, you know, with them. But like I said, at the same time, if you're looking to have a full online experience, maybe you're looking to play a game for, like, I don't know, 50 to 80 hours, these games might end up a little shallow for you if you're not fucking great at them. You know what I mean? So definitely,
like a lot of fighting games.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely think of that. And like I said, I think a lot of people, you know, do play Injustice, and that is the new standard, and you can have 50 to 80 hour experiences with Injustice even if you don't play online. You know what I mean? So that's going to be the difference. So I want to tell people not to expect that type of level of depth from either of these games, because I just don't think it's there. You know what I mean? But that doesn't take anything away from them. You know what I mean? Injustice is its own fucking beast. I mean, there really isn't a more dominating fucking game in fighting right now other than Injustice. You know what I mean? It's a huge fucking release. Everybody fucking plays it. You don't need to be a fan of Mortal Kombat or DC or any of these. I mean, you can just pick up and, like, get into it, you know? So guys, that's better fucking beta. Okay? We hope you enjoyed the show. We're gonna do this when we can. Like I said, it's very situational. We need 2 betas of like-minded gameplay, you know, to come out around the same time. It happens more than you think, though. We've done this in prior podcasts off video, and it really does happen more. So we'll put these up when we can, for sure. And
not always, you know, them being the same. I mean, if they're just too big. Two big betas for 2 big games that happen to be around the same time.
We could have easily shoehorned Monster Hunter Worlds into this, but I think our next podcast is going to be talking heavily about Monster Hunter World, and Friday. I mean, yeah, exactly, Friday. So it's going to be fun. We probably even have gameplay of that stuff, but yeah, like we just said, if there was another beta that was out that was even slightly comparable or just as big as Hunter, we could have done that too. So I'm excited. Thank you for joining us. Go to our Instagram, our Twitter, @GBW Podcast, our Facebook, facebook.com/Fandom Talk. Find us on YouTube. There's links everywhere. We spam them out, you know what I mean? So check them out. Check it out, subscribe, like our stuff, comment. We love you. We hope you buy games, and we hope that this conversation has led you to pull the trigger on something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it led you to not pull the trigger on either. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe
Didn't
they were like,
expect
these people are shite.
Maybe.
Terrible. This should have been called Worser Beta. You know what I'm saying?
Like, fuck both these games, fuck all this. Fuck YouTube in
That's
general.
how we just start out, just like sipping coffee.
We just-
Fuck these betas.
And then it
We're
just
out.
ends.
Yeah. Alright, GBW out, people.